Oyo, I guess. Good morning. So this is the morning of day 3, and I'll be leaving Mae Sai today. I'll be heading out to the bus station in a bit, wrapping up my stay. The little Fjalraven has been with me for about 5 years now, and it's still holding up very well thanks to this leather patch I added. And it's unbelievable how much stuff can fit into this 18-liter bag. There's even my laptop inside there, some toiletries, change of clothes inside, water, emergency kit, all the chargers, everything fits in. So the jacket didn't quite fit in, but I have it outside. Fjalraven 18, I think it's called Vardag, weekday. It's very good. Right, let's check out from Mekong Delta Hotel. They have some random displays of stuff. These are the Thai Royal Navy aircraft carrier, I think.
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
You speak China?
A little bit, yes. Zhongwan. ภาษาไทยไม่ได้
ภาษาไทยไม่ได้
A little bit นิดหน่อย Back at the terminal, 15 minutes to the bus, right on time, so without much rush. Must be my bus, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Mae Sai, so this time will be the other way around. I think this is my bus. Not so many people for the 9:30 bus. That's the minibus for Chiang Rai. Another one, they go like almost every half hour, I think. And these are the hotels to the local areas, villages. Oh, where's my kitties? Kitties are asleep, close. So this is the same Mitsubishi L200. Yeah, probably don't have time for the proper breakfast. Yeah, so maybe I should go back to the bus. Unless they have a coffee. They have a coffee. 15 baht. Kitties are somewhere here, wandering around. And I have some 10 minutes to the departure. There was a funny incident with the Grab bike. Basically, when the bike arrived, I didn't check the number. I just hopped on it and it took me right here. And then while we were on the way, the phone started ringing. So apparently I got on the wrong bike, but it still took me to the right place. Anyway, once we arrived, my driver called the other guy and they sorted it out. So I paid in cash and they do some kind of settlements. What a morning. Instant coffee and the Greenbus to Chiang Mai. And the Mitsubishi L200 with faulty ignition, faulty spark plugs that tends to stall in the middle of the road. And one tailless cat. Where's the other cat? Meow. Where's the other cat with the tail? Somehow this is my favorite place in all of Mae Sai. Little alley with cats right next to the bus station. And there she is. Yum, 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 yum. She's a huntress. Oh, good, good. Up, up. Good. Come on. Time to go. Bye bye. Bus, bus. Bus 423. 423. Chiang Mai. Easy. This is here. Just as I boarded the bus, one of the staff members came in and said, we are having some delay, so would you please wait at the bus station for like 5-10 minutes? They're fixing the problem. And while we're at it, let's look at this panorama of Mae Sai. So this must be the big Buddha. And this is the temple that I went to, the entertainment complex. And this is the border crossing. So there's so many things actually, many temples around here, which I haven't gone to. Yeah. And I only had 2 days here. So what's the overall impression? Gotta admit, when I first arrived here on the first night, I didn't particularly like Mae Sai. It felt too undeveloped, kind of sketchy, border town, unkempt in between places. And obviously I was quite tired from the 5-6 hour journey, so that also maybe impacted my impression. However, after spending one full day and half a day, maybe close to 2 days by now, gotta say I like it in a way, in a weird way. After walking the kind of downtown core, there's some cozy little corners, a little market. I do think development-wise, upkeep-wise, it does have a lot to improve. That doesn't seem to be much thought going into the kind of amenities planning, keeping up the infrastructure in some ways, like basically roadside cleaning and all that. Historic center is not being maintained or preserved in a way that would attract visitors, I think. Basically, it seems as soon as the buildings get older, they kind of remove them, build something newer. So maybe they should keep something. Especially that there's only a handful of old shophouses and old hotels left from 60s and 70s. So over time that will become quite precious, I think. They will regret not having kept it. Nature-wise, it's a very interesting town. There's this natural boundary, the mountain range separating it from Myanmar. So that's visually very interesting. The little houses on both sides of the border kind of climbing up on the hills look very picturesque. So that's very interesting. There's obviously all kinds of border trade, tourism opportunities in the future when the Myanmar situation kind of improves. And by improves I mean not just calms down, but Myanmar actually gets a chance at a more sustained development. Would I love to move here in the longer run? Probably not, because it's not for everybody, it seems. My main gripe with the city, with the town and the area is that it's still a kind of a highway town. Everything is hugging the highway. By nature of it, it's very vehicle dependent, either car dependent or motorcycle dependent. There's not many pedestrian friendly areas aside from the border crossing area, the main market and the temple. That's pretty much the only walkable area. So if you don't drive, everything will be 2, 3, 5, 10 miles one way or the other way as it happens. And as development creeps in, Even crossing the road might become a problem in the future as more and more traffic occurs, as the traffic increases. So that also something to consider. Basically, if you live out here, you need to have your own wheels, probably a little truck and a motorbike. You need both of them to get around here. Work-wise, everything seems to be dependent on the border crossing. Inbound tourism, both from the Myanmar side of the border, people coming in for like trading, Thai and international tourists coming to look at the border or maybe to try and cross to the Myanmar side with varying degrees of success. So that kind of limits the work and education opportunities. I don't think there's any major like higher education school nearby. The nearest one would be probably Rajabhat University in Chiang Mai. Would also limit job opportunities for foreigners. So basically, the nearest town about an hour and a half away, Chiang Mai, kind of beats Mae Sai any day of the week in virtually everything. It's nicer, cleaner. There's way more opportunities in everything. Mae Sai has some nice mountains and the border crossing. That's pretty much it. But it's nice in a certain weird way. People are super friendly. Everyone is painfully nice. Everything was very agreeable, smiley. All sorts of little incidents got sorted out amicably. I even got some kind of free goodies, like that tea from the vendor. So yeah, people-wise, it's a great place. Like pretty much everywhere in Thailand. What else I noticed? The physiognomic diversity, the phenotypical diversity, facial and body types, probably some of the highest I've ever seen, some of the greatest diversities in the market. Especially you see people with Southeast Asian features, East Asian features, Central Asian features, Middle Eastern features, European, Indo-European, Indian features. I even saw some Burmese guys with kind of like Indian faces. A lot of Thai, ethnic Burmese, Karen, Kachin, possibly even some Indians hiding out here. Of course, a fair amount of Han Chinese as well. So in that sense, it's a very interesting place. Most people seem to speak some version of Central Thai or Lanna Thai or Thai, which kind of overlap. Although I did hear occasionally a couple of languages that I didn't recognize. Those would possibly be like official Burmese Bamara. Okay, we're being called up back to the bus. Some Chinese people here as well. Okay, Chiang Mai, let's go. When I was buying the ticket, this was one of the few remaining seats, but the bus doesn't seem that full. So I wonder if more people will join us in Chiang Mai. I think so. It also seems like the front seats are way bigger, way wider. There's more space than the ones in the back. That's why I paid almost 400 baht, 394 I think. Get all the way to Chiang Mai. 9:43. So hopefully we can still make it to Chiang Mai by 2:30. Hopefully, with a bit of a delay. They give you water and a cookie, the cookies on the Greenbus. And I have some snacks with me as well, so I won't starve. Maybe one can survive till Chiang Mai. Now, would I consider moving here and living here for an extended period of time? Honestly, I don't know. This isn't a town for everybody. You really need to be super interested in the Golden Triangle cultures, in the border trade, borderlands in general, and preferably, actually crucially, you're going to need to have your own wheels and be kind of comfortable with having to commute for a few miles either way to do pretty much anything in the town. So I'm not too sure about that part myself. If I were to move further out north from Chiang Mai, it would probably be Chiang Rai, which is much more walkable. It's more concentric, and yeah, has a lot more kind of organic development around the city. These mountains are quite impressive in real life. I'd love to go walk up there sometime, someday maybe. I wonder what it would be like to have a house on the other side of the mountain, looking at Myanmar. Yes, that would be quite challenging. Living on the mountain always kind of seems interesting in theory, but in reality, a few people would ever want to do that. The economic payoffs are not really there. Note how thick the smoke is. This is all from the slash and burn practices, burning the agricultural residue. Much of the smoke is coming from the Myanmar side of the border, I'm guessing, but maybe also from Laos. And there's a fair amount of burning happening here as well. In a few days, a couple of weeks, it's going to reach the burning and the smoke going to reach Chiang Mai. It's about this time of the year, so that's another consideration for living further out north. Burning season starts earlier and lasts longer here, unfortunately. The other major consideration for a foreigner might be that there's not many job opportunities unless you are totally retired and living off your pension, social security, or savings if you have any. But if you do need to supplement your income by working, doing something locally, you might be better off in Chiang Mai. Yeah, even Chiang Rai would be probably better. Yes. Usually what people do is some form of teaching, and there's not many educational facilities here, except for the Thai schools. Passing by Tanchanok, and I just had this random thought that perhaps Tanchanok is arguably, possibly more interesting than Mae Sai itself. Well, that was There's a border checkpoint here, even though this isn't the border, it's quite close to it. The military guy walked up, came in. I showed my passport from a distance, but he didn't want to see it. He was satisfied by my Taiwan t-shirt. So yeah, it's very cursory check, mainly aimed at Myanmar migrants. I think they got checked pretty thoroughly, but the guy was satisfied with the check. The locals and myself, the lone foreigner, were not bothered. So we are back in Mae Chedi. This is roughly 1 hour from Chiang Mai, although administratively this is part of the Chiang Rai province. I just had this random thought. If you wanted to live in a rural setting outside a major city, a Mae Chedi might be an option. It's 2 hours to Chiang Rai, 1 hour to Chiang Mai. Of course, foreigners aren't allowed to own land in Thailand. Oh, interesting log house. Not allowed to own land in Thailand, but you can negotiate a long lease. Typically they are 30 and 30 years. The 90 years have been kind of taken down by the Supreme Court a couple of years ago. But 30 and 30 still stands. There's also kind of distinction between usufruct and lease, so you can have one on top of the other, and you can own property on top of it. The lease structure, some arrangement is just a rental for a couple of years to see how it goes, whether you like it here. I would do it probably that way if I were to settle down here. It's interesting. There's mountains. That's the Sri Lanka National Park mountains. Oh, there's Bangkok back. Good. And there's a river, walk, and there's all kinds of local food production. It's a really kind of diversified agricultural community. It's fairly strong inbound tourism as well. Both the downside and the advantage of being on the major highway is that it really separates the town into two halves, like west of the road, east of the road. But I guess that's inevitable. You're going to need your own wheels here. This big bus is a lot more comfortable than the one that I took on the way to Chiang Rai, and definitely more comfortable than the little minibuses. So even though the whole journey from Mae Sai is almost 6 hours, 5.5 hours, or 5 to 6 hours, I don't feel I'm not feeling that tired as yet. We're almost in Chiang Mai, even though we didn't have a break. It's been kind of non-stop travel. It doesn't feel as tiring. So if you want to go from Chiang Mai to Mae Sai and back, maybe opt for this one. It's pricier though, 400 baht, the front seats, but it's very comfy. You don't feel tired at all.